Hey YouTube world, Harvest is plenty. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. Please don't forget to hit that like button for me. So wow, why is there a dragon perched atop the Empire State Building? Guys, this is so important. It's sort of like the two horses running through the street of the financial district in London. I think this is a sign that has been given to us and given to the world. Now, why is this significant? Because if you remember in the Bible, the dragon symbolizes Satan. Now let's take a quick look at that because I have a lot of video and some things to share with you guys. But let's go to Revelation 12:9. It says, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." So that's why that's significant that there's a dragon on top of the Empire State Building.
In fact, we may have noticed the Empire State Building has a visitor from Westeros.
Wow.
A 270-foot dragon from the Game of Thrones prequel, House of Dragons, is now wrapped around the building's spire.
That's incredible.
HBO and Max teamed up with the New York City landmark for the premiere of Season 2 of House of Dragons, which was last night. The dragon on the spire is Vhagar. She is the queen of all dragons in the series. You get a prime view of Vhagar from the building's observatory, and with a ticket to the House of Dragons experience, you can take your seat on the Iron Throne.
The Iron Throne.
I want to see you sitting on the Iron Throne.
And I want to meet the Queen of Dragons.
Okay.
So guys, the significance of this is amazing. I mean, when you're dealing with the Game of Thrones, you're talking about the angelic wars and the angels and their bloodline children, the Nephilim, and the royal bloodline that extends out from that, the genealogy of the 13 satanic bloodlines that are ruling from behind the curtains today. They trace their lineage back to the Nephilim. And that's what the House of Dragon is. It's talking about the dragon bloodline. You guys can look that stuff up, the dragon bloodline. There's a lot that's going on in this. And it's very significant when you understand New York City, why it's called the Big Apple, why they chose the Empire State Building, because the Empire State Building is actually a reference to the Empire State that this conspiracy is being run from. I have video coming up, so you guys got to stay tuned. Just hold on tight, and we'll get into that. Let's take a quick look at this. It says, and this is the official website for the Empire State Building. It says, "Face the Beast." The Beast. And it has these two people here taking a selfie with the dragon in the back. The Beast. I think they're signaling to the world that this beast system is getting ready to emerge. As I said before, they have to do what they need to get done before December 31st. And then once the system goes down, a new system will come up in place. The old world and the old form of doing things will go away. And a new way of doing things will emerge, the beast system. And I think that they're putting this dragon on top of the Empire State Building to let people know, hey, this is a signal. It's getting ready to go down. I mean, you have a lot of stuff on the website here. You have the seat of Satan, or supposedly the throne, with the dragon right here with the 3 6s on that. I mean, it's very significant of what's going on. Even when you look in Scripture, it says here in Colossians 1:16, "For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him." And we're talking about Jesus Christ. He's the him in Colossians 1:16. And so thrones is a class of angel in the hierarchy. And so when they say Game of Thrones or the House of Dragons, they're talking about these angelic creatures, the Nephilim kids, and the bloodline that resulted from that union between fallen angels and women. And so these ruling families, as I said, they could trace their bloodline back. But another reason why it's important is because if you remember about New York City, they had the Ark of Baal in New York City. Here's an article. It says, "Arch that was the gateway to the Temple of Baal is going up in New York City Hall Park on Monday." And this was in 2016. In addition to that, right now today, New York City has a portal that connects two different places in real time. Check this out.
Finally tonight here, a new attraction in Manhattan is bringing people from 2 continents together. A new sculpture on the Flatiron South Public Plaza next to the famed Flatiron building allows people in New York to connect in real time with people in Dublin, Ireland. Wow. It's a real-time visual bridge between the 2 iconic cities through a 24/7 live stream. The NYC portal was founded by a Lithuanian artist and entrepreneur and will be there through the fall. That's pretty cool.
It is.
It's like a little bit of, Marvel, that whole Marvel thing going on. Very cool.
So think about this. We have New York, the Empire State Building, the House of Dragons, the Game of Thrones. New York is also called the Big Apple, and we know that apple is the symbolic fruit from the Garden of Eden that Eve supposedly took a bite out of to make herself wise and supposedly become God. That's what the serpent, the dragon, Satan, Lucifer, that's what he told her, right? And then we know about the Genesis 6 fallen watchers who came down, had children. They called them Nephilim. They were Nephilim giants. So we look back to New York, the G-men. They called the New York Giants. Where do you think the name Giants came from? New York. Where do you think the name York came from? If you look at Rockefeller Center, Rockefeller Plaza, in front of it, they have a statue of Prometheus. Prometheus was said to have stolen fire from the gods and brought it down to mankind. That's the personification of Lucifer. He supposedly took the knowledge from heaven and brought it down to give to man, to make man gods. Why is that all in New York City? And what has that to do with Freemasonry? So when you look at Freemasonry, you have the first 3 degrees, which is considered the Blue Lodge. After the Blue Lodge, you could either remain there, or you could go to the right side to the Scottish Rite, or you could go to the left side to the York Rite. And if you go down the York Rite or Freemasonry, you get all the way up to the top to the Knights Templar part or whatever. And Scottish Rite have 32 degrees, which the honorary degree, the last degree, is the 33rd degree. But what has that to do with New York City? York Rite Freemasonry is where New York, or the word York, comes from.
But if you go back to Freemasonry again, you'll see the cross and the crown. The cross and the crown is actually on a chart of Freemasonry, the Scottish and York Rite. We have 2 rites of Freemasonry in America. The 2 most important ones are the Scottish and York Rite. The York Rite comes from England, York, England. And when the York Rite came from England, and again I'm saying that this is like a shotgun effect. I'm just making you aware of some interesting little connections. We can get into all of this later. But the York Rite comes out of York, England, and the Duke of York. Prince Andrew is the Duke of York. The Duke of York, the York Rite Freemasons come to America. When America was founded, the first thing they did when the Columbians came over, the York Rite Freemasons came over. And they set up what they call New York. And New York is the Empire State. That's why we have an Empire State Building. New York is the Empire State because it's the new state of the empire, of the New World. It's the New World's Empire State. And the Empire Strikes Back. We get into George Lucas, Steven Spielberg with their Empire Strikes Back and all of that kind of stuff. Because there's symbolism in these Indiana Jones and all that, Star Wars stuff. But anyway, here's a Scottish Rite. They have 33 degrees. That's the reason why you have degrees of Freemasonry. See, the first, second, and third degree. That at the third degree, that's why, incidentally, when you're in court or the cops pick you up, they give you the third degree. Right? Reason because the police department is a Masonic order. They wear the Masonic symbols of power on their arm. Incidentally, that's why they call the armed forces, because they use their arm to beat your brains out. And here's the 3 layers of Freemasonry, first, second, and third degree. They're giving you the third degree. Then once you become a third degree Mason, you can either go into the Scottish Rite or you can go into the York Rite. The Scottish Rite is referred to as the Egyptian Rite. Everything that they teach and believe is based on Egypt. Or you go into the York Rite and everything they teach and believe is based on the old York order, which is supposedly called Christian. Right? So at the here again, you have the Royal Arch Masons. Royal Arch is very important with the triangle and the circle, and there's the Knights Templar emblem again with the cross and the crown. The Order of the Red Cross is one of them, and here's the Order of Malta. When you're giving money to the Red Cross, just remember where it's going. It's going to a Masonic order. And that's why, incidentally, Red Cross can go behind enemy lines during wartime and negotiate for prisoners. Why can they go behind enemy lines and you can't? Because they're part of the war. They are part of the establishment. They operate on both sides. So we got Royal Arch Masons with the triangle representing the pyramid within the sun. We got the Red Cross, the Order of Malta, and that's why Bush went to the island of Malta. They have this summit, and the summit is the top of a mountain, and the pyramid is the old mountain of God. And here's the York Rite with the Order of Knights Templar again. Now here is, I'm just showing you this so that, here is the, again, it says the pilgrimage to Virginia of the Knights Templars with the cross and the crown, and the Star of David with the Masonic handshake. That's the Knights Templar Masonic Order, and here it is on the Watchtower Society of Jehovah's Witnesses. So a lot of people, poor Jehovah's Witnesses, they have no idea in the world that the man that founded their order, Charles Taze Russell, was in fact a York Rite Freemason. He was financed out of London, England by Lord Philippi de Rothschild. His money came from England to found an order called British Israel Freemasonry. He is nothing more than a Freemasonic conspirator to help the masters in England take over our banking system and our government and have everybody prepared to crawl on their knees and wait for God's kingdom, and Jehovah's going to come and save you. Don't bet on it.
So guys, there's no coincidence with this stuff. These are signals to me. By design and by purpose. We're living in some very interesting times. The end times, as I've always said. And these are signals. I mean, many don't have the eyes to see, and they're oblivious to what's going on. And we just got to continue to pray and uplift people, and hopefully they get eyes salve to see, and they have ears to hear. Please stay prayed up, because spiritual warfare is increasing every day. I'm sure New York City has a huge principality that's ruling over it, and that's a video that's coming up too, to deal with territories and principalities. I have a lot of material that's coming up, and I hope to get it out to you guys before the grid goes down. But yeah, stay prayed up, keep love in your heart, stay alert out there. May God continue to bless you and your family.